Hello guys, here I am finally doing all the movies I saw in 2018 ranked. I saw 32 movies this year. There were a lot of movies I wanted to wait and check out, but I thought I'm taking too long to do this video, so I'll just do it now. So let's rank all 32 movies I've seen. Most of these I have reviewed, and you can check out the reviews in my channel down below in a playlist called 2018 Movie Reviews. And some of them I haven't reviewed, so I'll go into detail more about those. Just because I didn't have the time. So let's get straight through to my number 32, which is Skyscraper. Skyscraper was just the worst film I saw of the year. It was cheesy, it was bad, and I didn't enjoy watching it. It was sort of like a guilty pleasure fun film, but it just wasn't. It was just boring. Number 31, I have The Predator. This movie, again, was just boring. It was bland, it was dark and bleh to look at. And it had no interesting character development or characters, or just had nothing interesting at all. And saying the first Predator is one of my favourite films of all time, this movie was easily just one of the worst experiences I've had watching a movie this year. Just so disappointing. Coming in number 30 is Robin Hood. The only reason this is above Predator is because this one just looks better, and I can watch this movie, where The Predator was hard to watch for me, but Robin Hood is still equally as bad. Number 29, I have Rampage. This movie was just... It was fun, but after thinking about it, it is pretty crap, to be honest. It didn't really have much to it, and I didn't really enjoy watching it either. It does have some pure entertainment, though. Coming in at number 28, I have Mortal Engines. Just very, very average filmmaking. Filmmaking we've seen lots and lots of times before. I did like some of the ideas and concepts in this movie. They just weren't very executed very well. Number 27, Peter Rabbit, a harmless movie that I didn't review. Just a harmless kids movie. Didn't have anything in there that was bad, in my opinion. This movie was just so mediocre and so recycled story and done before, and I just found it to be a very bland film. In number 26, I have The Christmas Chronicles. A movie where, after I thought about it, to be honest, it wasn't as great as I remember. It was still a fun Christmas film, but it was just a Netflix movie, so what more can you expect? Number 25, I have The Meg. The Meg was a fun movie at times, but it definitely could have been improved. It had some fun elements, but it wasn't a great movie overall. Number 14, I have Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. Easily one of the most disappointing movies of the year. I just found the movie to be boring and bland. There wasn't a center story. There was so much time just not doing anything. There was some really solid sequences, and it's a really good looking movie with great direction and some fantastic sequences I really loved, but overall I found the movie extremely bland and boring. Number 23, Johnny English Strikes Again. To be honest, I had fun watching this movie. It wasn't that well made, but it was entertaining at points, and I think I'm happy movies like this exist, which is why I've got it in my number 23. Number 22, Bohemian Rhapsody, a movie that I think played it safe. A movie that I think could have been a lot better, and I still haven't got a chance to rewatch it, but I didn't really feel that the movie earned some moments, and I thought it was definitely a really well made movie. It was very, very good, but it just didn't have those. It didn't really have some of the stuff in there that I really wanted. It also has a lot of historical inaccuracies. Number 21, Tag. A very entertaining comedy. I actually really enjoyed this movie. It has some great performances. It is sort of your middle-of-the-road average comedy movie, but it was fun for what it needed to be. Number 20, coming into our top 20 here, we have Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. To be honest, this movie is very stupid at points. We've seen this plots used before in Jurassic movies, but honestly, I enjoyed Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, and I thought it was a fun movie. Number 19, Tomb Raider. Didn't review this one, but it was a solid action movie. Again, it has a lot of things that aren't new, that we've seen before, and I wasn't really invested in any of the characters, but it has some very, very good looking action sequences, and I at least enjoyed myself watching it. Number 18, Overlord. I quite enjoyed a lot of things in this movie. It definitely does feel like two separate movies, smashed into one, but I enjoyed the two different movies that were going on, so I enjoyed the film. Number 17, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, easily one of the most surprising movies of the year. Just a great animation, a really funny movie. On rewatches, it doesn't really improve, to be honest. But I actually really enjoyed watching this movie, and it was very, very surprising to me how funny it was. Number 16, Ant-Man the Wasp. I loved this movie when it first came out. I thought it was really great. Had a lot of great moments. I thought it lived up to the first one. But after rewatches, to be honest, it didn't hold up as much. It's still a very entertaining movie. I still really enjoy all of this film, and I'm happy to rewatch it in the future. I just found a lot more issues with it after rewatches. Number 15, Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think this movie is a fun, entertaining fantasy movie that does a lot cool things. There were a few things that annoyed me, but it definitely improves on rewatches. I really enjoyed this movie rewatching it, but I can also see more issues with it as well. Coming in number 14, I have Aquaman. This movie was really great. I saw this movie again, and then I saw it again, and there's just something that made me wanted to go be back and rewatching it. I've seen the movie 3 times now, and it's gotten better every single time. And I just love this movie now. I think it's a really fun movie, colourful, bright, exotic locations, really well shot, long action takes. It definitely doesn't do much good in terms of character and narrative, but it is a really fun movie to rewatch, and also with great pacing. Number 13, I have Venom. I really enjoyed Venom. This movie was in my top 10 best of the year, but I've seen more movies since then. I actually really enjoyed Venom for what it was. It is quite average in terms of comic book movies, but I thought Venom was as fun as it needed to be, and I think Tom Hardy definitely played one of the best performances of the entire year. Coming in at number 12, I have Ralph Breaks the Internet. This was a really fun movie to me that lived up to the first one without being better than the first one. It had a solid plot and solid characters, and it was just an overall entertaining movie. Number 11, I have Black Mirror Bandersnatch. I wouldn't really class this as a movie, which is why I couldn't get it into my top 10, but I thought Black Mirror Bandersnatch is one of the most unique movies out there. I really do want to make a video about it. I'll make a video about it soon, but rewatching this movie over and over again, and again, it's not really a movie. It's very unique in the way it's done, and it's very strange and new. And yeah, it doesn't really use any great filming techniques, but the way it allows the audience to connect with what's going on is some of the most impressive stuff. And I'm always looking for unique movies, because movies nowadays are all sequels and spin-off movies and movies of comic books and stuff like that. To see a movie like this, well, not really a movie, like an episode, I don't really know, but it's classed as a movie, classed as a film. But to see something as unique as this, that lets you choose how the movie ends and lets you choose how certain elements happen, and it's sort of like you're controlling what's going on, and that's one of the most unique experiences I've ever had watching something like that, and I really recommend you see it if you've got Netflix. Coming in at number 10, I have Bumblebee. I loved Bumblebee. I think this has revitalized the Transformers franchise. I hate nearly all of the Transformers movies. I find some entertainment in the first one and some entertainment in the third one, but Bumblebee really has a lot of great things in it. I really enjoy the movie. It has a solid plot. It felt like it came straight out of the 80s, which I loved. Number 9, First Man. I really liked this movie. In terms of the emotional pull, it really got it. Ryan Gosling plays a great performance. He does that every single year. And I really liked First Man. I don't really have any urge to rewatch the movie, as it was quite boring in places, but I think in terms of technically, this movie is very well made. Number 8, Upgrade. I didn't put this in my top 10. I definitely should have when I did that video. I saw this after I made that video. And Upgrade is one of my favorite sci-fi films that's come out in recently. It's just a really well-made movie, and a lot of people say it's the better version of Venom. I loved both those movies, but the movie is better than Venom, so yeah. Number 7, I have Ready Player One. Spielberg hitting the magic again. Wasn't as great as I really wanted to be. I remember seeing the trailers and be like, oh my god, this is going to be the best movie ever made. Ugh. And it wasn't that. It was pretty still darn great, though. The CGI is amazing. It's very rewatchable. I've seen this movie like 5 times now, and I've loved it nearly every single time. Coming in at number 6 is Incredibles 2. This is a great animation, cannot to rewatch it. Just the entire design of what was going on, the look of the film, the feel of the film, the way it does with its characters, I thought was really good. Doesn't live up to the first one, in my opinion, after thinking about it. And I think I did overhype it after I first saw it. But after thinking about it, it's still a great movie and a really fun one as well. Number 5, Black Panther. This is culturally impactful for a superhero film, which is why it's got it higher on the list. I really did love Black Panther. It was one of the most fun movies I had in the entire year. Number 4, I have Deadpool 2. I did put this in number 3 in my original review, but this is sort of based on how well made they are, when the top 10 were based on which ones I'm going to see myself rewatching more. And Deadpool 2 I can see myself rewatching over and over again, which I have. And, but to be honest, it's not as good as the top 3, so Deadpool 2 I still really loved. I really had nothing to complain about here. I thought it lived up to the first one miles ahead, so there we go, there's my Thoughts on Deadpool 2. Coming in at number 3 is Mission Impossible Fallout, one of the best action movies in recent years. I think this movie is amazing, and in my original review, I didn't give it that much credit than it deserves. This movie is way better on rewatch. The musical score, the action sequences, the character, the twists, the immenseness, the non-stop awesomeness and thrills and constant use of tension and exhilaration is thrilling. It doesn't really pump much emotional, but I don't think that's needed for this movie. Unlike my first two choices, coming in at number 2 is Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, one of easily the biggest surprise of the entire year for me. I saw the trailers to this movie and be like, this is going to be crap, I really don't want to see this. But I went to see it anyway, and holy Jesus, this movie surprised the heck out of me. I couldn't believe how good it was. This movie is one of my favorite films ever made, and probably is my favorite animated movie since Toy Story-ish. I don't know. Number 1, Avengers Infinity War. Is there any point? This movie is the best film of the year. This movie is the next cinematic masterpiece, in my opinion. I think this movie does everything it needs to do amazingly well, with great villains, great characters, and oh my god, I cannot breathe until I see Avengers Endgame. So Avengers Infinity War is easily the best film of the year. Call me a Marvel fanboy, or anything you want. I know my favourite film of last year was a Marvel film. My favourite film of the year before was a Marvel film. But who cares? Because Marvel are making great films that I enjoy every single year, and Avengers Infinity War is the combination of all of that, and I think it's the best comic book movie, live action, ever put to screen, and I loved every single second of it, and I love rewatching it as well. As you can see, I have the DVD for it right there. Guys, comment your opinions down below. What movies did you see in 2018? Which ones did you love? Which ones did you hate? And of course, thanks for watching. Goodbye.